Hey, what's up everyone? It's time for more Blue Box. This is episode 14. In the previous episode, we had Karen. I remember we were really getting to know Karen more. We saw her whole backstory with Hyodo. Hyodo? Haru. Wait, Hyodo is the other one. Yeah, Haru is our main boy. Hyodo is the other one. Yeah, Haru. We saw her whole background with Haru and stuff, and that was very sweet, adorable, really well done in the show overall. And so I'm excited to see what happens in episode 14. There was something I wanted to say. I don't know. Oh, I think it's just that today, the day that Blue Box comes out, is a very packed day. If you haven't seen, I posted up my schedule, and I just realized something. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause the episode because I realized while saying that there was something in the video that I just edited that I forgot to put in, and I had to really quickly go and do it before the video rendered. So I went to do that. It probably took me like 10-15 minutes. I knew I was in the middle of a sentence. I think I was talking about the fact that the day that this comes out, which is Friday, which is today, it's Friday today, is also the day that 2 other shows come out, and you can go check my schedule on my community page on YouTube to see when every show comes out. But today is 3 shows: Blue Box, Bang Dream Ave Mujica, and Dr. Stone all come out today. So I think it's in that order. I think Blue Box comes out first, then Ave Mujica, then Dr. Stone. I think that's the plan. But yeah, so that is how I'm doing things on Fridays. Please make sure to support the videos that you like, because 3 videos in one day, all live shows, is quite a lot. So it's going to take quite a bit from me, but I would like to keep trying to do this in coming weeks. So yeah, make sure to support the video that you like, or if you like all 3 of them, go watch all 3 of them, please, because you know, I need that support to keep that train rolling. So yeah, all this to say, there's just a lot of work to do right now. There's a lot of videos to put out, but I'm excited to jump into Blue Box because this series is very, very special to me, and I would be watching this even if I wasn't doing videos on it. I'd be watching it every week as soon as it comes out, excitedly. So let's jump into Blue Box, episode 14. Make sure to support the video. Go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, early access, and exclusive videos. And go to my Jent Watches One Piece channel if you like One Piece. Here we go, episode 14. I'm going to really take in the songs this time. I liked that song way more the second time that I heard it. So that's good. I'm already warming up to it. Minatozaki? You guys pull your weight too. Put all the pressure on you two. Yeah, it'll be their last one. Aww. Too much pressure. Aww. I love Nagisa. She's such a good friend. I played a fun basketball match today. It's so much fun. It's so good when you have teammates who always get the rebound. Even if you become a professional, you only play until you're like 30 or 40. You better be. No. She's reading my mind. He's pissed. Are we gonna see that game today? It's almost 4. File out. One basketball. Maybe you can join the team right before nationals. The girls basketball team. Nope, you're out. You gotta have more arc to your shot, dude. It's so flat. Yeah. It's almost arrogant to assume that your luck is gonna affect her somehow. Aww. Aww, cute. No, it's fine. You've been creepier. You made it with plenty of time to spare, though. Which girl is this? Chinatsu or Hina? It's Hina. Oh. Sounds like a celebration. Aww. I'm glad she's in a good mood. Yeah, should you bring it up? Third? That's pretty good. Yeah. Hey, if it's your personal best, that's amazing. That's very cute. She loved that. She didn't even like make any snide comment or anything. She just straight up was happy with it. And you can't even like check your scores on your phone like I do with NBA. Oh, I think they were up, but it was too quick. She's in such a good mood. Oh no. You could just not look, dude. You don't have to stop her like that. If she's wearing shorts, who cares? Like if she wasn't wearing the skirt and just wearing the shorts, she would look. Wouldn't be indecent. Yeah, you read him like a book. I tried to look at the score again and I got distracted. I think they were up by 1. You're wearing shorts. This feels dangerous. It's soaring! Cool transition. Oh shit. 64? 65, they're down by 1. 8 seconds to go? Jesus! Come on! The arc looks pretty good, but it looks a bit short, maybe. Very tiny hop. Yeah, it was a bit short. Short. Oh, on the buzzer. That's heartbreaking. Oh, shit. That's not even an episode ender. You'd think you would have used both of those things as a cliffhanger for the episode, but there's many minutes to go on this episode. Oh, Chinatsu. Oh, the band broke. Oh. That's so sad. Good to clarify. I love how casual she is about it. Dora, surprise! So far, it's a very mature conversation, honestly. They're both being super honest with each other. That's so fucking brave. That's so fucking brave. Like, I'm in awe of how brave that is as a character. Choice. I mean, at least she got it off her chest. I mean, yeah, she's gonna be thinking about it all night, week, month, year. Were there any signs? How could this be? She's teased me. How could she possibly like me? Man. I mean, it's super obvious to us from the outside, but honestly, when you're in that sort of situation, it is difficult. Especially depending on your self-esteem. You might not think you're capable of being crushed upon, loved. He's thinking back to everything. What? None of your business, Mum. Chinatsu? Yeah. And he's already got so much to think about, you know? For a while, he was actually not thinking about Chinatsu. Honestly, yeah. Like, what do you say? What do you do? Do you make a big deal of it? Do you bring it up? I mean, you'd have to talk to her about it. He's got so much to think about. I feel bad for him. Like, in high school, this sort of stuff will take all of your thoughts. She's right there! And she's pumping herself up to go inside. That look. I like how honest they are with each other. Like, he straight up says, it's awkward for me. Such a little gremlin. And then... That's the first thing Chinatsu sees? Jesus. And she's not wearing the band anymore. God damn. Oh, this ED gets me emotional with everything that's going on. So, obviously, I'm not going to pretend that I don't remember this part of the manga. Like, this is one of the staples of the series. And I remember... Like, I remember a lot of people were, at the time when this sort of stuff was coming out, were of such... I mean, there was quite a bit of uproar, honestly, over this part of the series. Because people don't love triangles in series and stuff. For me, I don't think that I don't think love triangles as a story beat is bad at all. Especially like depending on how they handle it, it can be really good. And the thing is, like, love triangles happen in real life a decent amount, like enough that it makes sense to base a lot of stories around them, you know, because a lot of people actually do suffer this sort of stuff, you know. Maybe it won't line up so conveniently as a romance show would show it, but it certainly happens more than a lot of stuff that happens in fiction, you know. So yeah, I have never had a problem with love triangles in romance stuff. I've had a problem, I suppose, with when it's done really poorly and in a very unsatisfying way. But I actually don't... I can't think of too many examples of that jump out to me, you know? I think, to me, like... Yeah, it can be upsetting. It's an upsetting storyline. And I think that's a big part of why people don't like it. Is like, they sit down with the series and they want to... They have like a couple that they want to get together, and they don't like obstacles in the way. They want it to be a progression to the end or whatever. And while you're in it, it can be, I think, really difficult to sort of to deal with, because you're feeling sad because there's a love triangle going on, you know? And I think so when people are going for like a comfy series like Blue Box, and then they're feeling sad every week after reading the chapter, it can be difficult for people, and people don't know how to handle their own emotions, and they don't like feeling sad for stuff like this. For me, I'm often looking at the bigger picture. When I feel sad or emotional, or like really upset about something that happens in a series, I also sort of relish in the idea that, well, one, this series has gotten me to feel emotions, which is the beauty of art. That's why I'm in it, you know. I like to feel emotions. And two, if it's the sort of emotions that I think we can get through and we can like heal from it and maybe get to a better place because of it, it will be worth it. And so I'm content with waiting to see what happens, you know. And I feel like with Blue Box, and I'm not going to spoil how any of this goes, by the way, but I feel like with Blue Box, people who binged Blue Box, like once this storyline was, you know, we'd gone through this whole arc and everything that had happened here, you know, people who had binged the series didn't have as much of a problem with this. People who read it weekly as it was coming out, I read it weekly as it was coming out, people who did that had more of a problem with it. I read it weekly, but I had no problem with it. But a lot of people don't like to sit and stew in that and wait and then be scared of what's coming next and if the writer's gonna blow their own series wide open or whatever. I think every opportunity that this series has had to go in a poor direction, it has very nicely gone around that. I think Miura Sensei, I think, is the woman who writes Blue Box. I think she is absolutely great at writing these characters and at writing these situations in such a way that the characters, like, to me, feel like they speak like normal people. I mean, they actually speak more maturely than high schoolers actually do. But in a satisfying way. Like it's fiction. It's supposed to be sort of like an ideal, you know, we don't like to watch, we don't tend to like to watch characters that are as flawed as regular people are, honestly. So a lot of the time the characters in this will speak more eloquently and have better one-liners and all of that. The characters in anything, any fucking fiction ever, will tend to speak more eloquently than a real person would, because their dialogue is written. But like, you know, disregarding the classic fiction stuff, this series feels very real to me, and these characters feel very real, and I understand them a lot. I love Hina so much. I mean, like, as you know, Chinatsu is my favorite character in this series and one of my favorite manga characters of all time. But that doesn't reduce my love for Hina. I don't have a very competitive mindset of like, I love this character, therefore I hate this character. You know, like in Arcane, I loved Caitlyn so much. She was my favorite character. I also loved Maddie very, very much. And I loved Vi very, very much. These characters having any sort of oppositions to one another, that doesn't make me love them less, because people are people, and I can love them regardless of who they love or who they're gonna get together with or whatever. So I don't tend to like when people are very like, oh, this person's trying to steal, like this woman's trying to steal this woman's man, so I hate her and I love her, or so I love her, but I hate her. Because that happens so often, just like pitting those characters against each other. I don't think you need to pit them against each other. I think they're both living their fucking lives. Let them live their lives and like them as people, you know? Or dislike them as people, but at least have your opinion on them as people and not based on the person you want them to be with or how they might interrupt the fantasy that you have of the series or of these characters. So I love Hina so very much. I love the like her personality and her sense of humor. I love the way she works really hard, and I really love how brave she is. This is one of the bravest, and I remembered this scene, the confession scene. I had forgotten that it was intercut with Chinatsu losing basketball, though. I was actually on the edge of my seat there because I couldn't remember how that scene went. But I love that confession scene, and like, you know, she purposefully throws the match with Taiki to like force herself to confess to him. Like, she sets up these stakes so that, like, hey, if whoever loses has to reveal something really embarrassing, and she sets it up so that she forces herself to have to do it, and then throws the match so that she has to do it. Otherwise, she's backing out of her own thing, and she's like a competitive girl, so of course she's not going to back out of that. So she forces herself to do it, and then is just completely honest with her. And there's no misunderstanding in that scene. The two characters speak about exactly how they're feeling about the situation perfectly to me, like absolutely perfectly. She says, I like you, and then like there's a silence, and she says again, as when they cut back, I love you, Taiki, and he goes, like, romantically? And she says, romantically? Isn't it weird? We're best friends, and so you might have let your guard down, but yeah, I do actually like you romantically. And he replies, this is out of the blue, I'm kind of flustered right now, I don't know what to say to it. And that's all extremely legitimate responses to that sort of thing, right? I've had romantic conversations with people that, like, at some points I've had to talk to someone about, like, this person felt a certain way about me and I didn't feel the same way about them, or at least I didn't know. It wasn't even that I didn't necessarily like them, I straight up didn't know. I could not tell. And I really had a proper conversation with them, telling them, like, I'm sorry, I truly do not know how I feel, and I wish I did, but I don't, so can you be a bit patient with me? Let's figure it out. Let's figure out if I have any feelings here, but I don't know. And to her credit, she was like, yeah, okay. And then later I found out I didn't have feelings for her, and I told her, I'm sorry, I don't have feelings for you, I hope that's okay. And she went, yeah, that's cool. And then that was it. Like, she took it incredibly well, but it was like, this is a very, you know, it was a very honest situation between people. And I love seeing when fiction can portray that, because sometimes that really is, and like, and there's not many times I can speak from sort of romantic experience. I don't have a crazy amount of it, you know, but I do have a very minor amount of romantic experience, and it's nice when I can sort of speak to something related to that. And this is one that I can. Being very, very honest with your feelings in a situation like that is so, so helpful. But it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to actually tell someone exactly how you are feeling at any given moment, even not romantically, even just just talking to your friends or whatever. It's hard to actually be fully honest with how you feel. So yeah, like, Hina is just an incredibly brave woman. I love how brave she is, and I think this episode is so great. By the way, I'm pretty sure that the Hina confession to Taiki and the basketball game ending, I'm pretty sure that's a chapter ender. I'm pretty sure that was the end of a chapter. So for this episode to not, like, to resist the urge to, because they would have been designing episodes around this moment, for them to resist the urge to have that be an episode ender, like, honestly, bravo. Because I think the scene works way better with the context of afterwards. Because when I'm pretty sure it was a chapter ender, and I think I remember people being nervous that, like, when the chapter ended with, like, I like you, Taiki, or whatever, people were nervous that it would come back and they would find a way to brush off that scene or move past it, or, like, you know, just have a way that it's not an actual confession, like they trick you into it or something. But they straight up, the next chapter came and it just continued on, and it was a very real scene. So yeah, I'm glad that this show put that in the middle of the episode, so that we had time to think on it and actually see, no, this is a real thing. This is actually where the story's going. Let's see where this takes us. I have no problems with the way any of these characters handled any other situation. And that's what I really love about Blue Box. I know some people have problems with the way some of these characters do it. Some people want their characters to be perfect. Characters could be perfect. People are not perfect. People make mistakes all the time, especially when you're in high school, especially when it comes to your first crushes, your first loves. You make mistakes all the fucking time. God knows I did. So yeah, like, I don't blame these characters when they do make small mistakes, and they have made small mistakes throughout Blue Box, and there has been small misunderstandings, but everything in Blue Box to me feels like it makes sense. Everything moving forward makes sense with one another, and the characters to me aren't ever acting like irrational, crazy. They're not acting super out of character in a way that only serves to heighten the tension. If they're heightening the tension, it is a natural heightening of tension that these characters, that feels earned to me, I think. So yeah, this was a great episode. It was really good. So upsetting, especially after Chinatsu gets such an L with the basketball game, which she shot the final shot and was a bit short. I know how that feels, and I don't know how it feels on that level, honestly, because obviously I play basketball, but I play it in a social league, so there aren't really stakes. I mean, the stakes are all self-imposed stakes, but there aren't really major stakes or anything. And two, I'm not the best player by far. I'm one of the weaker players on the team, I would say. And so I don't know the pressure that Chinatsu feels in this situation. Although maybe I know the pressure when it comes to other things like that, you know, that I've done in my life, like other types of games and stuff, but not when it comes to sports. But yeah, I know how crushing it can be when, you know, if you just did this one tiny thing, you could have won. Like, just this one small thing. If she just adjusted her shot the tiniest bit, they would have won, that's the hardest loss you can have. That's the hardest loss. She would have preferred, I guarantee you, Chinatsu would have preferred to lose by 40 points than to lose by 1 point on the buzzer with her shooting the final shot. Like, that's it. It sucks. It really, really sucks. So yeah, that's Blue Box episode 14. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I will see you next time. Goodbye.